Hey guys, I've been getting a lot of questions about our sustainable community master plan. Let's talk about that when I return on the Eric McNeal Be Free Show.
Black men and white men, Jews and Gentiles, Protestants and Catholics will be able to join hands and sing in the words of the old Negro spiritual, free at last, free at last. Thank God Almighty, we are free at last.
Hey guys, welcome. You've just discovered the Eric McNeal Be Free Show, where it's all about being financially independent, responsible for self, enjoying life, and empowering others. Free. So today, before we get started, I'm going to try to kill this mosquito. You know what? I have to tell you guys, since I've moved into the city, look at that, missed them. Since I moved into the city, I've never seen this, it's just mosquitoes everywhere. I didn't have this many mosquitoes in the bush, and you would think that you would have the mosquitoes would be in the bush, but we didn't have mosquitoes like this. It's just like mosquitoes swarming everywhere in the city. One morning I was up very early in one area of town, and it was like just thousands of mosquitoes just swarming. It's like, wow. And the other night I looked out the window here, and I keep my windows open. I don't like to run the AC. I usually try to keep the windows open, but it was just like mosquitoes just bumping up against the screen trying to get in. I was like, what is this about? So as soon as you open the door, just mosquitoes come in. This is just ridiculous. It's ridiculous. That's why I prefer the bush. That's just one more reason why I prefer the bush, guys. I don't understand it. Mosquitoes everywhere. But anyway, that's not what this video is about. This video is about our master plan. We've been getting questions about it, and so I wanted to address the master plan because it's still not complete yet. We're hoping that it's complete within the next 30 days. But let me tell you this. Is that normally, if you get involved in this whole real estate development process, you start out with kind of, a master plan, and you go for funding, and you have to submit it to various government authorities to get your permitting. We started out a little different. We started out like backwards from that, and we didn't follow the traditional rules. So basically what happened was that, okay, we wanted land. We needed land. And when we finally found the family that had the size land that we needed, we approached that family. And they really didn't believe us. They had been taken through, so many people coming to them, oh, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, and they never did it. So so when we approached them, they was like it was like, sure you guys are going to do this. And we assured them that, yes, this is what we want to do. They said, okay, Eric, if you guys are going to do this, we need our money, so you got X amount of time to get us this amount of money. And so we were like, but we're going to need, a lot of time just to prepare the documentation and the plans, the master plan and this and that. It's like, we need our money. So what we decided to do is that we decided to put our money where our mouth was and just go ahead and show a commitment to them by building a model home with no master plan. Because I knew that the model home would be separate from the resident homes, right? Because the model home will eventually act as an office, and it will be separate, like an office with the amenity center. So we could go ahead and build that model home even though we didn't have the entire community. So, so Brandon just came up with kind of a overall, template for where things would be. And they weren't specific, but they gave us enough information to know where to put the model home. because it would eventually be used as office space. So, and we didn't have a master plan, and that was okay because, you know, we weren't at that point, we weren't trying to get everything approved, what we did, what we said, because when you go into the government office and talking about you trying to get a master plan approved, man, you'd be in there for months and months and months and months to try to get your permits. So that was another reason we said, no, we're not going to be going through, you know, first of all, the master plan and all these plans, that cost thousands of dollars, thousands upon thousands or tens of thousands. That was one reason we didn't get it, because of the amount of money and time and effort required up front to do it. Another reason is because of the time constraints we had with the family to get something going so that we can start making payment on this land. And then yet another reason was we knew that if by chance we got that master plan done and we presented that to the municipal assembly, then man, they would have taken us through the ringer to try and get any type of permitting. So we said, let's just get, you know, one home approved. That's all we want to get approved. Let's go to the municipal assembly with this one home and say, this is what we're doing right now. Can you approve it? You know, and they expedited it just like that. There's no problem. Now, since then, yeah, a lot of people have, you know, like, hey, where's the master plan? Where's the master plan? And even, you know, some of the government figures, you know, as we go and speak with the government figures, they're like, you know, master plan, you know, where's your document, where's this, that, because they're used to seeing a lot of documentation. So, so even, you know, government officials have been kind of on us and, you know, trying to beat us up for not having it. But what I had to do is I had to reel everybody back in and say, you know, wait a minute. Normally, when people come through those doors and they have all this documentation for you guys, they have this master plan, they haven't done anything. They haven't done anything. But then you guys look at the documentation and you're like, oh, yeah, and you know, and then you endorse this stuff, and they never do this stuff. So they have this documentation, but what they have on paper never materializes. You know, I've seen, you know, residential, commercial, mixed use master plans. Most of them never materialize. Some of them be this thick, like a book, and you just go through, and be a lot of pie in the sky stuff. They never do it because they never get, they can never raise the funding to do it. But they put all this time and effort into the master plan. It could be $100,000 somebody done sunk into a master plan that never materializes. So, but what we did is we came up with something that, you know, we actually built first, so that you know we wasn't just talking. So let's assume, let me tell it to you like this. What if I came to you and I said, okay, you know, Mr. Johnson, I got this plan to build a flying car, and I want you to get behind it and sponsor it and, you know, endorse it. A flying car. Here's the documentation, and we're going to raise money to build it, okay? How excited would you be? You know, you're like, okay, you look at it, okay. But now, what if the next guy came to you? You sitting outside and he flew down in his flying car. Poof! Hey, I just built this flying car. You want to jump in? Let me show you how it works. You know, I ain't got no documentation yet, but I got the flying car built and I want to show you how it works. Then we're going to go work on some documentation. Which guy would you be the most excited about? Number one, the guy who has some documentation but no product, or the guy who has the product without the documentation yet, and it's, you know, he says it's coming. The other guy says his product is coming once he gets some funding. But the guy who has a product built, he just needs time now to go back and do some documentation. Which one would you be more excited about? I believe the one who has the product built and just needs to go get some documentation, and that's kind of where we are, because we have product built, we have homes going up, we have buildings going up on the land, there is work going on, and now we're doing the master planning as we speak now, and we should have the first public review of it within the next 30 days. So this is where we are with the master plan. So you know why we didn't, we did things a little backwards because of necessity, right? And things here, if you want to make them work, you have to use some different methods. It's not as straightforward as a lot of people think they are, because a lot of people go up and they never get funding. But we didn't have that problem, did we? Right? Because of the moves that we made. That was a little different. So so as we started then looking at the master planning, Brandon said, well, he wanted to do something different than what you see most developers doing, right? You see most, and I'm gonna go to my computer a little bit and kind of show you what you would see as kind of a master plan with most residential communities. We've gotten to the habit building all of these, as they call them, these Mac mansions, big houses, and just rows and rows and rows as far as the eye can see of these houses. They just throw together overnight, and then a strong wind come through and just blow them all down. You know how it is in Florida. But at any rate, I'm getting off subject with that. That's another subject. But at any rate, the master planning this is how we do it. You have these huge subdivisions, and there's no creativity. The housing just goes for long rows. So Brandon said he wanted to explore pocket neighborhoods versus these big, large communities. He said, let's look at doing pocket neighborhoods, and I started researching pocket neighborhoods, and I was just fascinated. I was taken away. So I'm gonna jump on my computer and I'm gonna kind of show you what I'm talking about. So the first image that I'm showing you this is your typical community, and as you can see, it's just the houses are just in a row. You have all these houses in a row. So what happens with this type of community is that the people living in this community really, most of them never get to know one another. They come out of their driveways, they drive out their community, but they don't spend any time together. They don't talk for the most part. You living in this community, you may talk to like the person across the street or the person who lives to the right or to the left of you. But other than that, you don't know nobody in that community. So that's the problem with the type of communities that we're creating now. So we wanted to develop something that was a little more social, and the pocket neighborhoods, which is, I'm going to show you another. Well, first, before I show you the image, if you go to, like Wikipedia, and, well, let's see, I think, yeah, let's go to Wikipedia, and let's look at the pocket neighborhood. So it says that the pocket neighborhood is a type of planned community that consists of grouping smaller residences, often around a courtyard or common garden, designed to promote a close-knit sense of community and neighborliness with an increased level of contact. Right? So, and then it talks about, the next section talks about the origins of, the term. The term pocket neighborhood was coined by architect Ross Chapin. In 1995, Chapin partnered with the cottage company founder Jim Sules to build the first contemporary pocket neighborhood, the 3rd Street Cottages. Okay, so I looked at that and I started researching all of this pocket neighborhood, and I came across the book, The Pocket Neighborhood, And it was by none other than the person who coined the term pocket neighborhood, Ross Chapman. So when we started seriously considering pocket neighborhoods, we decided to go straight to the source, which was the person who coined the term, the architect Ross Chapman. And he's out of Washington State in the U.S. And so I contacted his firm, so his architectural firm, because we wanted them to kind of help us do this whole master planning. But his, secretary was like, he's got so much work on his, and this is a guy, who's been in all the major magazines, Forbes, and on, the news. So he's in high demand now. He's in very high demand. And, he wrote the book. So basically, she said, okay, you send me an email, because I told her, what we were trying to do, and that, we wanted to have him help with our project. And she said, okay, you send me. She said, but he's got so much work, like years worth of work. So I sent them an email, and and she called me back, and she said, he was so excited, after he read what you were doing. He was excited. He said he wanted to talk to you. As much work as he got, he wanted to talk to you. And so we set up a meeting. He set up a meeting with me, and we spoke for about an hour. And he was like, Eric, I'm gonna tell you, I've got about 2 years worth of work, so I can't take on a project this big. He said, but I was so fascinated by what you're doing out there. He said, once my secretary told me, and I got your email, he said, I went through your website. He said, man, I was fascinated. He said, I got on Google, I looked at your land. He said, I went on up to the lake up there, the Volta Lake. He said, I went all around the university, saw all that. He said, and I was just blown away by what I saw. He said, so, he said, I can't take on this project, but, what we can do is kind of guide you guys along, try to give you a little help, and, put you in a webinar so that you can understand kind of, the do's and don'ts of a pocket neighborhood, if that'll help. And I was like, sure. So, so people are taking notice at what we are doing, they are taking notice, and you have the foremost authority in pocket neighborhoods that thought enough about the project and what we're doing, and was fascinated by what he saw that we were doing, that even though he has enough work for 2 years out, he took the time out of his schedule to talk to me for about an hour about this project and offer guidance on it. So we were excited about that, because we told him this is what we want to do, is one of these pocket neighborhoods, because when you do a pocket neighborhood, it brings people together, and you have these smaller clusters. And so on his website, and he has a couple websites, you can go, one of them is pocket-neighborhoods.net is, the one that's specifically geared for the pocket neighborhoods. And then he has his architectural website as well. But so on his website, he has this kind of site plan for a pocket neighborhood that he came up with for kind of an adult with disabilities home. And I was immediately drawn to this pocket community, or this pocket neighborhood, as a concept for what we wanted to do. And remember, we have 60 acres saved for residential development, immediate residential, that will house about 400 single-family homes. So what we envision is that we would have up to 10 to 12 separate pocket neighborhoods. And these are all like their own little neighborhoods with their own little character. So every neighborhood will have its own character, And, so you go into one neighborhood, in a neighborhood, in our concept, initially we're talking about 40 homes per neighborhood, per pocket, so per pocket, 40 homes. So I'm showing you this concept that he has called the Luna Azul. And as you can see, it has about 30, just about 30 homes, 29, 30 homes in a pocket. And these homes are joined by a center facility, a building with a pool. And between the two, there's parking. You see how the parking goes in? So a lot of people, that was another question they've been asking. Well, Eric, if there's a no-car community, so when we told them we would have cars, but I told them we would have cars, but there would be some no-car zones. And that the individual homes would not have car parking at the individual homes. So we felt that this concept was suitable for what we were trying to do. And we envision, you have these two sides of the pocket that are joined by a center area. Now, in our concept, there would be no building in the center, but the center would rather be like a park area, sitting area you can go and roast, have a picnic at. So, but you wouldn't necessarily have a building there. And then you have the parking going around. It comes in, and some of the parking would be covered. But the parking is not far away from the house, as you can see from this concept, that the parking is just like, a few steps away from your actual house. So you won't be traveling a long way. And we felt that this was a happy compromise for those who insisted on having parking and being able to drive their cars to their home, and and we said we didn't want cars at the home. So we felt that this was a nice compromise and medium, so this is our concept. And so you can envision this, just kind of 40 times, 40 different little pocket neighborhoods is what we're going after in our concept. So that's what our, we have another architectural firm, since Ross Chapman was not available, we have another firm that's putting everything together for us. Okay, so that's essentially what we're looking at doing. And let's see, so that's just a bigger, so let's go to, so let's go, back over to our kind of big picture. You look at our 200 acres and what we're looking at doing. So you see you have the 60 acres over here where the homes would be. And we do have some future residential expansion, another 30 acres, but we're not quite ready to say how that will be built out just yet. But so if in the immediate future, what we're going to do is build those homes in a way where it's pocket neighborhoods, okay? And then you have the future development for the commercial area, and then the multi-family dwellings, area as well. So so we're very, very, very excited to be, so close to getting our master plan done. And granted, after this initial concept comes out, there's a lot of other things, intricacies, and different various plans that will have to go with that as well. And we'll eventually have the animations and 3D modeling and things like that that will come. But just getting that 2D site plan slash master plan ready is enough for now, because that will allow us to know exactly how to lay out each lot for the homes. So so that's coming. And and for those who so adamant about seeing that at first, that was a reason why you didn't see a master plan at first, because like I told you, we had to do things a little differently, but we got them done. We have a product to show. All these people with the documentation ain't got no product. So you have to ask yourself. We were having people who even went as far as to think that, hey, we're running some kind of scam because we don't have all this documentation. But who would be more likely to run the scam? The person with the documentation who never builds anything, or the person who put their money down to build something and now they just need to go back and get a little documentation? Who's more likely to run some kind of scam? So at any rate, guys, yeah, that's what I wanted to address today, is why you have not seen like this detailed master plan at this point. It's coming very soon, and rest assured, we are very excited. Also, the pocket neighborhoods will include, these walkways, and so we're very excited. So yeah, so I'm glad, for you guys that jumped on board with us, even when we were just about, to get started, just taking off. You guys are the ones that are being rewarded. Hey, you guys are being rewarded, for your efforts. So we want to thank you. But we're getting, we're still trucking for you guys that are still kind of sitting on the fence. Oh, I wonder if they're gonna scam us. I wonder if they this. I'm telling you. You keep on, go ahead and keep your money. A lot of people, well, why it sounds like a scam? You want us to put our money down and wait 3 years? Okay, you leave your money in the bank for 3 years, and the people, and then I want you to compare with the people who decided to take their money out of the bank and put it with us for 3 years, and you see who's rewarded at the end of these 3 years. You see who comes out ahead at the end of these 3 years. Okay? Yeah, let's see how that one works out in 3 years for you if you decide to leave your money in the bank. I'm telling you. I'm just telling you that it ain't gonna be looking too good. Even if there is no big economic crash, your money is just gonna lose so much value. It's gonna lose so much value. Where the people who decided to put their money with us, they're going to gain 100%, right? Because we're selling them the house. For doing that, we're selling them the house at half price. So they're going to gain 100%, guys. Just do the math. At any rate, that's all I got for you. If you like what we're talking about, go ahead. Hit that subscribe button. Like, share, comment. Let me know your thoughts. And you can find, if you haven't already done so, head to our website, www.migratingculturecrossing.com, and please go ahead and take advantage of our half-price home promo, guys, before it ends. Listen, if you put all the money up, you wait 3 years, we'll sell you the house at half price. That's a no-brainer, guys. It really is. It's a no-brainer. So, yeah, but we end in that promo. The end of March, it ends, guys. So I suggest you go ahead and take advantage of it if you want it. And for those, a lot of people have. A lot of people have taken advantage of it. Most of the people who even purchased before the half-price promo sale was in effect, and most of those people have went back and changed their purchase option to the half-price home promo, right? Because we gave everybody who purchased before that plan, we gave them an option to go back and switch over, and most of you guys have switched over, and we're excited about that. So at any rate, you can also find me on Facebook at facebook.com/Eric McNeal. It's free. And as always, hoorah, ahuru. Now be free.